Hi guys, so today I'm going to be doing a tag. It is the this or that tag. I saw a book Olive do it on her channel. It is originally from What Kelly Reads. I will link both of their videos down below. I like this one because I really have a hard time with the ones that are like, oh, what is a book that has this in it or this in it? I'm like, I don't know. I haven't read a book with that in it. So a lot of these are just based on the outside of the book, which I really like. And I would like to go ahead and say that yes, I realize over half of these books are by Tolkien. It's a thing. Anyway, so we're just going to get into the tag. The first question is, what is your oldest and newest book? I decided to go with both interpretations of this by choosing the actual oldest book on my shelves and the newest copyright date on my shelves, along with the book that I think I've had the longest and the book that I've had the shortest. So in terms of copyright date, this is my oldest book, I think. Out of the ones that I can think of, I didn't do any textbooks for this, although this is technically a textbook, I guess. And this is the Graded Classics 5th Reader by the B.F. Johnson Published Company in Richmond. This actually belonged to my great-grandmother, so her name is written all over this thing. But the copyright date is 1903. The newest book I own, 13 Reasons Why, the Deluxe 10th Anniversary Edition by Jay Asher. This is the only book that I have, I believe, that has a 2017 copyright date in it. I do not know for certain, but I believe so. So as for the book I think I've had the longest, right now you're stacked on top of all of my children's books except for the one that I decided to take. And that is My Best Friend That No One Can See But Me, written by Emily T. Peterson. The reason I know I've had this book for a very long time is this book was designed especially for Mandy Sue at the age of 4 for National Library Week, Isle of Wight County Library in Smithfield, 1998. So I've probably had some of the books that you're sitting on longer. I just don't know when I got them, and this one I have a date for when I got it. As for the newest book I own, I have not done, I think I have 2 book hauls that I have yet to post, and from my most recent book haul, this is the last book that I picked up, and it is this copy of The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. The last copyright date in here is 1973, and I got this at Half Price Books because I have a problem. So the next question is, what is the biggest book and the smallest book in terms of book size, not length? So the biggest book that I have is Tolkien's World, A Guide to the People and Places of Middle-earth by Gareth Hanrahan. And the smallest book I have is A Tolkien Treasury by Linda Becker. The next question is, what is the biggest and smallest book you have in page length? The biggest book I have is A Storm of Swords by George R.R. Martin, coming in at 1,128 pages. I believe it is, at least. I didn't see any books bigger. And I chose 2 books for my smallest book because I feel like this first one is a little cop-out. And it's Jingle Bells, illustrated by Michael Haig, and it's like maybe a 20-page little book that is literally just Jingle Bells with illustrations. But for an actual book, the smallest one I have is The Hour of the Star by Clarice Lispector, and this comes in at 77 pages. Next question is, what is your most expensive book and the best bargain? So my most expensive book I bought new. I didn't pay full price for it because I got it from Books A Million or Barnes & Noble, and I get 10% off. That was this copy of The Lord of the Rings by J.R.R. Tolkien. It's the 50th anniversary edition, slipcover and all, and this came in at $90, so I paid like $82 for it. Because again, we ain't even touching textbooks. I chose 2 books for my best deal, and they're both actually the same book, and that is this copy of The Two Towers, which I have not hauled yet, by J.R.R. Tolkien. This is a 10th printing of the 2nd edition, published in 1965, and I got it for $8. Hardback. The only real, a downside is that this is all grayed and a little yellow. Other than that, it's perfectly fine, and I got it for $8. The other one is this copy of The Two Towers by J.R.R. Tolkien. I got both of these from Half Price Books. This one, I believe I got for $6, and it was published in 1966. Show the most beautiful cover on your shelves and the ugliest. So, my favorite cover, it might not technically be the prettiest. I could probably find a prettier one. But hands down, for some reason, this is my favorite cover, and it is this edition of To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. This is the Barnes & Noble leatherbound, and I don't know, I just love it. I just love this book. Gilded edges, purple tab, just adore this book. For the ugliest, I again chose two, and that is this copy of The Two Towers and this copy of The Hobbit, because look at their faces. Look at it. It's great. Isn't it great? The 80s, man. What can you say? What is your favorite book and one that you hated? My favorite book is 13 Reasons Why by Jay Asher. It affected me the most deeply out of any book that I've ever read. My least favorite book I do not own anymore, and that's because I threw that motherfucker out because Under the Dome was awful. A book that made you cry and a book that made you laugh. My Sister's Keeper by Jodi Picoult made me cry because of the whole sisters, just the whole sisters thing was just heartbreaking and awful, and you know, it was just sad. So this made me cry. And Beauty Queens by Libba Bray had me dying with laughter because the way it's written like a movie or a TV show, like with commercial breaks and stuff like that, and it was just great. Like, if they ever made this into a movie, they would literally need to follow it word for word, and then it would be perfect. I am skipping one question because I cannot think of a book that warmed my heart or a book that made me shiver because I don't have a heart. A book that you cannot wait to read and a book that you've been putting off. So both of these kind of go in both categories. The one that I've had longer is J.R.R. Tolkien, A Book of Lost Tales 1, which goes along with this entire set of books, The Histories of Middle-earth. I've been really excited to read them, but I just haven't. I've had these for upwards of 3 years, and I just haven't read them. The one that I haven't had as long, but I am equally as excited to dive into is The Fellowship, The Literary Lives of the Inklings, J.R.R. Tolkien, C.S. Lewis, Owen Barfield, and Charles William, because at their time at Oxford, they had a little club, a little writing club, and I want to know. I want to know all of the things. Recommend a book that you want more people to read and a book that wasn't as good as you were expecting. I didn't grab books for this, but I'm gonna go ahead and say The Lord of the Rings by J.R.R. Tolkien because everybody's seen the movies. But how many of y'all have actually read the books? Once you get past like the long, slow little bits, it's really interesting. It's really fun. So I definitely want more people to read it. And then the book that wasn't as good as I was expecting was these two books by Emily Giffin. They will be in my next book unhaul. I talked about them in my Emily Giffin author profile, and that would be The One and Only and Heart of the Matter. These two books just didn't live up to what I was hoping for. The next book you want to buy and the next book you'll be getting rid of. So I'm checking my list on my phone, which is kind of hard because I have so many, but if I were to choose the one that I think I want the most, it would actually probably be Important Artifacts and Personal Property, the collection of Lenora Doolin and Harold Morris, including books, street fashion, and jewelry. I don't know who it's by, but I've seen it in a couple people's like book talk, or I've seen a couple people talk about it in their wrap-ups months ago. And it's like a catalog of all of their stuff, and it tells the story through that. And apparently it's a decently full story, like you can really get the gist of it with just, it's a picture and then the information about the picture kind of thing. So I really want to check that out because it just seems so interesting. And then the next book that I will be getting rid of are any of the books in my next unhaul. Alright, thank you so much for watching. If you would, I'm not going to tag anybody just because I don't really have anyone to tag. But if you would like to do this, consider yourself tagged. Make sure you let me know if you did it because I would love to see them. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you can check out my next video. Have a great day and a wonderful week. Bye.